Yes, the people, how we doing? Alright, it's Q&A time, man. We're doing it. So I put up a thread on IG, one of those story ones, and I just thought I'd answer it via the medium of YouTube. I thought I'd do this shit vocally, so save me little thumbs. I'm gonna rip through these questions pretty quick. If this video turns out long as fuck, I will timestamp the questions, and also if there's a specific question that I put in the title of this video, I will timestamp that one as well, because maybe you're just here for that, man. So that's what I'll do, because I'm sound. So alright, let's do it. Best tips for a young teen trying to build muscle. So obviously people make videos like muscle building tips for teens and like teen routine or whatever the fuck it is, because they go viral on Instagram, on YouTube, sorry, and like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make videos that get views and that go viral and shit, if you're a good YouTuber anyway. But the physiological process of building muscle is the same. You might respond better because your test's probably higher than like someone who's 40, but there's no difference. You can just follow the usual processes and normal advice for building muscle. Now, you might have to make like situational considerations in terms of like, I don't know what the schedule of a teenager is like, you know what I mean? Have you got to fit in your workouts around Pokemon battles or whatever, man? I don't know, but aside from those, and I suppose the safety element of it as well. Obviously, if you snap your shit up when you're 13, that's probably worse than doing it when you're like 30. So, you know, just be careful. But aside from that, you can just follow normal shit, man. Are you and Rob actually friends, or do you just put up with him when you have to? I mean, we are actually friends, but we definitely put up with each other. Like, I think he would agree with that as well. Like, we're friends, like, but we have very contrasting qualities in some aspects, and obviously sometimes that creates like not friction but like friction, and so we put up with each other from time to time, but that's just what happens, man. Like, you know, you're not supposed to hang around with people who are like exactly the same as you, are you? You're supposed to have mates who are a bit different, like, and that's just comes as standard, like. So yeah, but we're mates through it all, like. Do you miss being a kid? I'm still a fucking kid, mate. I will be a kid until the day I die, man. You know. No. I don't like, no. I just try and make it a general priority to not miss shit. Because there's always good shit about every stage in your life that if you sit there and think about it and dwell on it, you can miss it, man. You know. But that's no way to live, man, because you're here now, like, you're living now, like, you know what I mean? And so, like, if there's something you miss about a certain stage in life, be like that now, do that now, like, you know, if it's possible. Obviously it's not always, like, you know, it's probably not okay for me to just go and spend fucking 3 hours, like, on a fucking seesaw, you know. You don't seem to train traps. Is there a reason? So I do actually train traps. I just don't hit them specifically with shrugs. But anytime you row, you are involving traps. Right? You know, you can't row without involving your traps. It's just that I don't do actual shrugs because I'm not that arsed about traps as a muscle group. I feel like A, they get enough from my pull exercises, and B, I just feel like they're a kind of bodybuilder muscle. And then I just don't think that they're that aesthetic, so that's why I leave them out, man. Was university worth it for you? Yeah, I would say it was, because the first job that I got out of uni, I needed a degree to get that job. So that was when I was working for the bank. And it could have been any degree, yeah, but I just needed a degree. And that was the job that fucking was the only real job I've ever had, really. But that was the job that set me free, because I just worked there for like 14 months pretty much, lived at home with my parents, drove a shit beaten up Vauxhall Corsa, and just put money in the bank, man, just saved up. And that little nest egg, that bought me the time and freedom to make a plan for the rest of my fucking life. And I feel like that's the only time I've ever really worked on, because since then I've just been riding a fucking wave, mate. Are video games a waste of your time? Video games and TV a waste of your time? No, I don't think so. You can't just blanket say that. Like, they can be a waste of your time. Obviously, it's a fucking vortex that you can get sucked into, and like, you know, you might wake up 10 years later and think, fuck me, I haven't seen daylight, man. You know, but like anything, man, just don't let it control you. If you know, there are plenty of people who are very successful, multimillionaires, billionaires, happy. There are happy, successful people who still play Xbox, man. So it's not really that black and white. It's not like, you know, I hate this shit where it's like, you know, I listen to audiobooks all the fucking time, man. If I'm walking to the shop for a pint of milk, you know, I better be listening to an audiobook, you know, otherwise you're just wasting your time. Like, just audiobooks at every fucking minute. You don't always have, you're not supposed to be productive every second of every fucking day, like, you know what I mean? Those people are crazy, man. So yeah, nah. Shredded By series, when is it returning? I'm filming one on Sunday, so it should be up, I reckon, Monday evening. It's gonna be a sick one, mate. I'm gonna smash it out of the park, man. It'll be a banger. I've got a mental breakdown after realising the way you view reality is based on a mill factor. You obviously like done a typo and got cut off, but I mean, no. No is the answer to that. However that question ends, the answer is no. I've never got a mental breakdown after realising anything, on. People overthink so much shit, on. Like, I talk a lot, but I think very little, man. I mean, I think a lot, but it's always like, even when I think about deep shit, it's not in a deep way, man. It's just a curiosity way. It's not like, fuck, am I doing this? And, you know, if I do this, does it mean that? And like wrestling with like 3 separate like levels of myself is like, fuck, me conscious self, and then am I subconsciously doing this because of that, and do I really have a fear of this, or am I trying to make up for like this kind of insecurity? And you know what I mean, just chill out, man. Get on with your shit, mate. Just have a good time, mate. Are you getting married soon? Nah, I might get married one day, but I'm not really asked about getting married, to be honest. It's not on my list of priorities, mate. I don't really give a fuck about it. I feel like it's just a weird, old-fashioned process, man. It's like, it's just theatre, innit, man? Like, do you have any advice for beginners who want to be fitness influencers? Alright, so I've like touched on this question, or I've like definitely skirted around it and answered like very similar questions in the past. I may have even answered this one, but like, I'm going to take the practical side out of it, because you can do your research and find out, like, if you really want to be technical about it, you can find out how to grow a YouTube channel, how to grow an Instagram, or whatever it is. My advice would be just to make sure that you're doing it, like, not from a kind of ego-based place, man. And that probably is why most people want to do it. It's probably why I started in the first place, but then again, I don't know if it was even that calculated. I feel like I just fell into it, but if you just see it as like a way to get fucking super high levels of validation from everyone, and be like this person like on a pedestal, it's kind of bullshit, man. Because if you're outsourcing your fucking your production of self-worth, mate, if someone gives it to you, then it means that they can take it away also, and it means you're just dependent on this fucking external shit, man. And it's just not a good place to be in, like, because they're the kind of people who like start getting a few less likes on Instagram and they have a panic attack, man. Like, legit, like, anxiety attacks and shit from, like, you know, the YouTube channel not doing so well and not getting so many likes on the videos, or whatever the fuck it is. Like, honestly, like, not everyone's made for it. Like I'm fine, because I'm just a chilled motherfucker. Like, nothing, like, this might sound like I'm like trying to gloat or show off in some way, but I'm not saying it like that at all, because it doesn't always manifest as a positive trait. But I'm just way too chilled out, way too laid back to give a fuck about like if people think I'm a dickhead, or if this happens or if that happens. I'm never thinking like that the worst case scenario is gonna happen, and like, oh shit, maybe my YouTube channel's gonna die and I'm gonna have to go get a job, like, and you know, so what, man? Then you start again. It's exciting. Like, I'm just not worried about that shit, and I suppose that's what fucking confidence is, just being a geezer who doesn't shit yourself over little things. And like, if you are like a worrier or someone like that, just don't do it, man. Because that's just route one. It's like how you become unhappy, like, legit. When did you feel like you made it? Alright, so I've talked about making it and what that means like plenty of times, but maybe for this question I'm just gonna take out the philosophical side of it. So we can talk about what it means to have made it, and then what success means for you, and then we'll get onto like, oh, success isn't money, it's happiness, and blah blah blah. I'm just gonna answer this purely in the context of made it career-wise, right? I haven't made it yet, you know what I mean? Because everything's relative, right? And making it like that just hasn't been a priority of mine so far in my life. Like, I am as ambitious career-wise as I have ever been, but I just know that I can just turn it on and go, man. I know that I can just fucking produce, like. And so my priorities the last 5 years or so haven't really been like work. And as such, like, I've got a YouTube channel that I can live off, and an Instagram and all that shit, like, whatever. But my main objective the last 5 years has been have a fucking good time, mate. You know. But eventually I'll get bored of having a good time. Like, that sounds crazy, but I'll get bored of it, and I'll just want fucking achievement, career achievement, like. And then I'll just flip it and do that, like. And I hope you're all here when that happens, man. I feel like it might happen pretty soon, but I hope you're all here, man. Because then I'll just go and I'll be like, listen, I wasn't fucking about, man. Like, I believe in my ability, you know what I mean? So, I haven't made it yet, but I will, and I hope you fucking witness. And if you think that this has made it, yeah, on some level it is. Like I say, it's all relative. On some levels, people would look at a YouTube channel that you can just make a living off and be like, yeah, that's made it. Yeah, but I've got the ambition that I had when I was 5 years old, man. Just as fucking same, man. Just as strong. It's just that it hasn't been a priority of late because I've been having a mad time, man. But we'll see, man. I hope you're all still here for when it goes off, right? What makes you genuinely happy and smile in life? I love your positive outlook. A lot of things make me happy, man. I'm sure it's the same for most people, right? Obviously, like, maybe it takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of fucking intentional living to find out, like, what makes you happy on a base level, but then you just double up on those things, man. And, like, the thing is, like, I'm not a positive person. I don't believe in being positive, because being positive, right, implies some level of bias. I have no level of bias in, like, I wake up and I say, it's a fucking sick day, man. Just because that's fact, mate. That is fact. Like, there's no positive or negative for me. I'm not, like, you know, and also, like, you can't listen. I have to be somewhat conscious of the fact that I've just been lucky, man. I've had, like, good role models, teachers, parents, friends, whatever it is. I've been lucky to just be born into, like, the family that I was born into, and have opportunities. I went to, like, I mean, it was just a normal high school, but that's a great opportunity, like, you know. Been very fortunate in a lot of ways, and people who have been so lucky, yeah. People who have been fortunate can't sit there and tell other people to be positive, right? If I was born in fucking Yemen and I just lived through a fucking war zone, right? Would I be as positive as I am now? Probably fucking not, mate. You know, it's like people seeing people in the street or on the fucking train or whatever going, oh, cheer up. Like, fuck you, man. You don't know, like, what this person is going through or has been through or has had to deal with. Maybe they're putting on a fucking better show than you would have it in their shoes. And so, like, it's bullshit when people on Instagram and people on YouTube and shit, people like fucking me, it's bullshit when they're just like, oh, I wish everyone would just think a bit more positively. 99 out of 100 of them are just lucky motherfuckers, man. And some of them, yeah, have probably been born into less fortunate circumstances and still like got somewhere and made something of themselves. And they're the fucking gems, like they're the ones that we should listen to and I should listen to as well, man. You know. How's your skin? Always so crisp and clear. I've actually got a big fucking spot by the side of my mouth. I'm open road, just gonna ignore that. What's the worst drug you have done? In terms of like overall, I mean, it depends how you define worst, but I would probably say alcohol, mate. Cause like, you know, kills a lot of people and shit, man. Favorite childhood video game? Alright, so at my nan's house, we used to have a Nintendo. So this was like the one before the Super Nintendo, I think. It might have been 2 before it. Let me think of the games, man. There was one called Bayou Billy, where you were like an Aussie guy with a big fucking knife and used to kill crocodiles and shit. There was an ice hockey one that was sick. Oh man, I vaguely remember because I was so young, man, but they were good times, man. When will you and Tommy B hit beef again? End of summer, man. Tips on how to deal with birds. That's girls for everyone who's not familiar with the term. With high ego and always play a victim card. Just don't deal with them, man. You know, a lot of girls, man. If you find something, like, don't waste your time trying to fucking, like, why are you trying to deal with those girls, man? If it obviously bothers you if they have a high ego and always play a victim card. That obviously bothers you, man. So I assume you're just trying to bang them, man. Obviously, because otherwise, why would you be? In which case, bang someone else. There's plenty of girls, you know. Also, it might be you, man. You might be just oversensitive weirdo. What was your first paying job? I think I did like factory work on a production line at a place called Howden's, which is like makes kitchen units like en masse, and I did like shift work over summer between like college or uni or something, I think it was. So I'd do like a 6-2 shift, a 2-10 shift, and a 10-6 night shift, and just wear fucking steel toe caps, just banging drawers into place, or like taking fucking cupboards off a conveyor belt and then wrapping them in a huge fucking roller cling film. Mad shit, man. It's pretty grim, to be honest. Does Joey D have bad days? No, not really, man. Not really, and that's not because I fucking cracked life and figured shit out. I'm probably just lucky, man. And like, you have worse days. Obviously, like, not every day is consistent. Why would you even want every day to be consistent? You'd have no metric by which to judge a good day if you never had like a bad day. So I have worse and better days, but I'd never look at a day and be like, that's bad. That was a bad day. Like, you know, even if something like unfortunate or unlucky happened in a particular day, I'd be like, well, that was an unfortunate incident. But like, I'm kind of fucking, I don't attach me for like how I don't attach how many days go into like individual like events in that day, or even like, so no, I don't really have bad days, man. You know, I know that I'm supposed to say yeah, I know I'm supposed to go, I know it's cool if I go yeah, alright, yeah, well, we all get bad days and we all feel down from time to time, so that I can be a super fucking relatable dude and that, but why can't you just be honest? Like, can't you just say what, that's just how I feel, man. Do you think you'd still make it if you started now? Again, like, make it, let's take away the fucking philosophical side of it. I don't know, man. Maybe. If I started now, like, shit, man, shit be different, man. Fuck knows. But yeah, I think so, because I still will make it from this point. I still will make it from this point to a level that will make this currently look insignificant, I think. So, I'd say yeah, man. Thoughts on cigarettes and bodybuilding? I don't think it impacts shit that much. Like, if you're doing 40 a day, obviously it's gonna fuck pretty much everything. Even if you're doing like 20 a day or 10 a day, it's gonna bleed over into most things, like most areas of your life. Like, occasional smoking, I honestly don't think it probably doesn't make a difference to your actual like the amount of muscle you're going to build and shit like that, man. Any more podcasts in the pipeline? Yeah, so I'm actually just waiting on a guy to come back with me with like a proper logo and stuff, and then they'll all be up on Spotify, iTunes, everything. And we've got TM Cycles booked in for I think the 19th. I think a week today is booked in. Yeah, and then a couple more after that as well. My right trap has always been smaller than the left, and I can't seem to even them out. Well, aren't you lucky that nobody gives a shit in the world? Nobody gives a shit if your right trap is smaller than the left. Not a single, like, you might be the only one, man. You're probably the only one. Your mum, me, birds, no one gives a shit. So, that's fine. Have you ever thought of doing an In the Kitchen with Joey D series? Yeah, I would love to do like a proper cooking series, or maybe a separate channel as well. Because I'm bang into food, like, but I need a better kitchen really, so I'm going to wait until I've moved into a new place. And like hopefully have an island that you can then do sick fucking cooking vids on, man. That'd be sick, eh? Have you ever taken shrooms or any other hallucinatory drug? Yeah, I well, yes and no really. So when I was in Thailand, I think it was, like the first time in 2011, there's this place where you could get mushroom shakes from, where they just blend up a shit ton of mushrooms. But like, what they do is they blend up a load of mushrooms and make the mushroom shake, and it's in this big fucking bucket, right? And you get one, and they just dip a big cup in, and then give it you. And like, it's not evenly fucking mixed, so you might get like a strong one, or you might get a weak one. I got a really weak one, and I was halving it with someone, because it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. But it was the only time I've ever done anything like that. And so it didn't really affect me. I mean, I saw a bit of weird shit, like there was this girl I was with, and like at one point her face turned into like a crow. That was a bit harrowing, but apart from that, not much happened, man. I mean, that's bad enough, like, some people that I was with at the time said they had sick, proper good trips, like, but nah, I've never like properly done it, because I've also spoken to people who've had like bad trips in Ibiza and that. One of my mates thought that his fingers were matchsticks, and so he was scared to touch them like with anything, because he thought that they were gonna light, like, you know, a spark on fire. So, ever see yourself going to North Korea? Yeah, man, get me there. I'm up for it, man. Looking back, would you do Oz with Tommy B again? Yeah, 100%. I mean, we didn't get the most out of that Oz trip because we were like kind of poor and like just fucking not living our best lives, man. But we still fucking had a sick time, so yeah. What is the most positive and most negative thing about your chosen career? That's a sick one, man. Most positive. It's so hard. There are a lot of positives, man. Most positive is probably just this shit, man. Like, just getting to fucking... I know it's a cheesy thing and that, but like, I just like meeting people, man. I'm just interested in people, like, whether it's people who also work in this industry or like just from different fucking walks of life. If I'm in fucking Australia and I do a meet-up or some shit, I buzz off that shit, man. I buzz off meet-ups, man. They're sick, like... I'm interested in people, man. I'm just a curious motherfucker, and I suppose that's the best thing about it. Most negative thing about it, see, it comes back to like the kind of person you are. I don't really see there's many negatives. Sorry, got cut off. There's certainly no negatives that you can't get over with the right fucking attitude, man. You know, like I say, like, if you're not someone who's well suited to this, then one negative might be that you fucking crumble under any amount of fucking criticism. You know, I could say, oh, people hate on you online and people like say mean shit about you, but then what happens, man? What happens after that? Nothing, mate. You're still alive, man. You know what I mean? It almost doesn't make a difference, man. How to find a balance in life? You have to practice, mate. I tell you how to find a balance, right? What you do is you go to excesses. I have gone to many excesses in my life, and this is the process of finding balance. It even happens in society, with societal shifts and swings in certain ways that we think, or, you know, certain norms. You go too far to realise it's too far. And I'm not saying purposely go too far, I'm just saying go about your normal life, and then one day you'll be like, oh shit, I went too far this way, I need to go back that way a bit. That's what happens, man. That's the process. So please do more of Q&A. I'm doing one now, man. On that note though, when I have podcasts and stuff up on Spotify and iTunes and stuff, do you want this kind of thing up there as well, just as an audio file? Because then it might save you like having to sit with YouTube and that. Do you know what I mean? Let me know if you think that's a good idea, or if you want me to just keep it straight up to podcasts like. Alright, we got cut off. I had to change memory cards, but I'm gonna do one last question. I was actually halfway through answering this, but what is your biggest motivation? So probably had this question loads as well, man. Fuck knows. You can answer it a million different ways, man. For the most shit I do, I don't think about motivation. I'm just going through my life, man. I suppose like trying to be happy is a motivating factor. That's definitely one of them, man. Because surely most things that you do in your life should get you closer to that. Like, you know, that should be a goal. Like, and aside from that, aside from yourself, there's obviously like you do. I know it might seem like a contradiction, but you do want to be someone for other people. Like, you know, you want the people who are close to you to be somewhat proud of you, you know, to think that you're sound and that you turned out alright, and, you know, that you did alright. Like, that's it really. I'd like my ma and dad to fucking think that I'm a sick cunt, because the sound, like, you know what I mean? So, anyway, that's it. See you later.
Delaney is my hero!